March 1st work session. All members except Councilwoman Noack is here.
Okay, we have a site plan. Do you want to go over that?
Sure. Good morning, Peter Hans from the Planning Department. We have one site plan matter for the board to consider this afternoon, acting as the Board of Site Plan Review. Basically, it's an 8,600 square foot office addition to AudioVox Corporation. It was subject to approval of variances from the Board of Zoning Appeals, recommending approval with two conditions, basically that they obtain building permits and health department approval. The applicant has agreed, obviously, to the required conditions. Basically, the project was slightly held up because of health department. This is in the unsewered portion of the industrial park. However, it's expected that Marcus will be sewered later this year, so the health department granted whatever approvals were necessary.
Sounds good.
Okay. Renderings, it's matching the existing building. It's an addition out the rear of the existing building. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. I know I have a personnel matter, which the town controller is here and town attorney will partake of that. We have a contractual matter, which Mr. Murphy will be part of. But I did want to discuss in open session, and that's why Regina's come up here. On the agenda today is the rescission of a permit or a resolution that permitted a group to have a walk or a run. Can you tell me the name of what that group is? Do you remember the name?
There's the Judy run, there's
Judy's
also the
run,
Brit run.
okay.
The Brit run was on last Thursdays.
If you remember, on the last agenda, we had, I think, 13 runs.
Come on
Now,
up, Regina.
Judy's run, which had a problem a year or two ago in terms of impeding a businessman, a bagel shop, which does its business in the early morning hours. Now, what I need to know, and you might not be able to answer it, should we since you've had a complaint on that run, should the town clerk not accept the application?
Well, the thing is that the Breathe for Brit, which was on the agenda for the permit to
Right.
be issued, is the same exact route as the Judy's run.
Right.
So their objection, when we did speak to them already, is why are we allowing the other
Yes.
route? Now, that person that complained about Judy's run never complained about Breathe for Brit, and that's why it got as far
Right.
as it did.
You mean, okay, you mean the bagel shop, that was a complainant?
He did not complain about the
About
Breathe
that
for
one.
Brit, right. So the complaint about the Judy's Run was last year, and we issued the permit anyway,
Right.
after the complaint.
Was-
So the only thing that triggered this is when the application come in, we have a note in our file saying there was a prior complaint.
Was
and-
there a Brit one last year as
Yes.
well?
Mhm.
So they had the same one?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
in the same spot?
in the exact same spot, because we have 4 routes that were pre-approved by Public Safety and the 4th Precinct, and that happens to be one of the routes.
Yeah. But-
Because we never had a complaint.
Right. Well, I think we need to revisit, that's my opinion, unless somebody is, this whole business of these permits. I mean, the other night we had 13. There is an impact on the community with these runs. Lots of work goes into them. Your office, you have one person just dealing with those things, correct?
Part of her job,
Yeah.
yes, one function,
Public safety notifications, all of, and we don't charge any permit fee.
right.
And we're in the town has to provide the service. So I would think that, I would like to recommend to the board, and that's why I want John Valentine here, to recommend, get a committee together, and recommend a whole, entire revision of this business. You know, you have profit-making corporations doing runs here. Like, what's
Well,
that?
technically, our code says they have to be nonprofit.
Yeah, well, I don't know about, the Long Island run for something every year?
Yeah.
I wonder about that.
Long Island Runners Club. There's been suggestions too about, which I think is well worth looking into, to establish a policy to begin having these runs in places like Sunken Meadow State Park, the industrial park on weekends, things of that nature, because they're, not just this one, they all interrupt either residents or businesses in one way or the other. And we had Supervisor Tom know, for Lisa's edification, that we had some major problems at the Landing Country Club because they used to have a run, I think that was the Kings Park Runners Club, which is a wonderful outfit, but they would close Landing Avenue,
Yeah,
and people had prepaid tee times, and Suffolk County Police wouldn't let them into the country club. So in one way or the other, they're problematic. They should, I believe we should look into, like the industrial park or Sunken Meadow State Park, and just steer them in that direction.
well, that's the point.
Good idea.
So somebody like John Valentine head up a committee. I don't know how we formed the committee, who we put it on, but a committee that will come up with all kinds of suggestions, whether there should be a fee for this. You know, even though something is non-for-profit, doesn't mean that they can't afford a fee. There's an awful lot of work that goes into it. How many conversations did you and I
Sure.
have today? So,
And currently, I think one of the biggest problems is the parade runs, they are not required to put a sign up where the special event they are.
Right.
So these people have no
No idea
idea.
it's
I
happening,
didn't know that.
Right.
till they
To-
run into it and
Until they can't
can't get up
get
and
at
down
it,
the road.
right.
Right.
Mhm.
Correct.
Which could be why the complaint wasn't made the first time, because he didn't know that it was
Right.
happening.
Right.
So they don't have to be posted at all?
Not for parade run
Oh,
or
wow.
walk, only for a special event.
on here was a rescission of that for Judy's run.
No rescission
No.
for Breathe for
Breathe
Bread.
for Bread.
So we're going to go forward with that?
Well, I would think that it would be unfair if we've permitted another run on the same route. And then I'll withdraw that rescission for Brit. Is it Brit?
Yes, Breathe
Okay.
for Bread.
Breathe for Brit.
And the other one never even made the agenda,
Right.
it never even got into the
Oh,
to the
okay.
flow yet.
Right.
The
Okay.
Judy's Run for Stroke.
So I think we're all in agreement, we need to address this situation,
Yeah.
Yes.
right.
and form some kind of a committee, however we decide to make up of the committee, and make some suggestions to the town board. Mr. Wareham's point of using the industrial park and Sunken Meadow State Park is a wonderful venue to run.
It's safer as well.
Yes.
I mean, Suffolk County Police have problems with some of these
Absolutely.
also.
And so we might give our input when this committee is formed. So if somebody is here for the Brits run today, you could have the Brits, we'll give you the permit. Are you in the back?
We will give
No.
that permit?
I don't think anybody's here.
Okay.
We're going to, correct?
Also,
Yeah.
but it's on the resolution, it's on the agenda to
We'll
rescind
withdraw
it.
that.
And I will withdraw that,
Okay.
okay?
Somewhere.
And then what about the other one, then? The Judy's Run for Stroke?
Well, she's already got that.
No, it's the other way
we-
around.
That has not, Judy's Run for Stroke hasn't even gotten into the workflow yet. That's where the complaint came.
Okay, well, how much time do you need to revoke a run?
Well, Judy's Run, we haven't, this run is in May. We haven't even
Okay, well-
issued, we haven't even entertained the permit.
Okay, let's not entertain it.
Okay, but
Okay.
Breathe for Brit is the same route.
Right, I understand that, and that's imminent, right?
That's actually not until June. That's
That's
scheduled
also-
after,
Well, then,
but they put their paperwork in.
well, then then I won't withdraw it, we'll rescind it.
And that's what's on the agenda, to
Okay?
rescind Breathe for
You
Brit.
okay with that?
Yeah, and then, but
Then we can get
you're
a
not
new
gonna have
route.
either one of them.
Neither one,
Right,
and then
okay.
we'll find out what this committee can devise,
Okay,
okay?
all right.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Jan.
Thanks.
I sent everybody a memo some weeks ago asking Russell Barnett to take a look at solar panels for all the town buildings. He sent each of you a memo regarding what his thoughts were on it. And to that end, he gave me a resolution, which I won't put on yet, and I didn't want to put it on until you all agree to it, to spend $18,000 to get an engineering firm who would determine the size of the solar panels, the need for it on each particular building. So if you all I'll put it on the next agenda if you're all in favor of that.
Yes.
It's a well worth expenditure. I spoke to the controller. If you recall, in the budget this year was an expenditure out of capital for LED lights for all the lights in town, and that resulted in almost a total elimination over 2 years of an electric bill. So hopefully, with the solar panels on these town buildings, we might achieve the same kind of savings. But we'll find that out from the Cameron Engineering.
Russell, this is for electric, this is strictly for electric?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want to, do you think there's a need to put it on? I could read it on if the board agrees.
If the board's amenable,
Yeah.
it's hard to,
Would you like to do that? I'll read it on.
Yeah, if we're gonna do it,
Okay.
let them take a look at it.
Okay.
And they survey everything, roof conditions, the whole gamut.
the process that we're going to run is that, I'm working with Joe Arico to do a preliminary assessment of some of the conditions of the building that could rule out solar, such as if it's an imminent need of the roof, if there's electrical problems in the building, et cetera, it would complicate the project, we'll take them off the list.
Okay, so those will all be identified by this engineering firm.
So they'll be identified by us. Then after we've
Okay,
selected the
we'll eliminate
buildings
them.
that have potential, we'll have the engineers go in to assess the bearing capacity of the roof, the existing electrical system's capacity to retain it, length of run to connect to the box, et cetera, and we'll do a cost-benefit analysis. And we'll select the projects that make the most economic sense for the town.
Okay.
Okay, if anybody does have anything for general, I'd like to go to executive session to discuss a contract and a personnel matter. Hey, John? All right, I can make a phone call to you later, John, about what we previously discussed. Okay?
Want me here?
No, we don't have to do it now. I'll call you on it.
Okay.
We just discussed something.
Okay, very good.
So you want to go into executive session?
Yes.
Second.
Linda, you have to go.
Oh, I'm sorry, I guess
It's okay.
Good to see you, though.
I thought you guys went.
back in, or?
Well, you could stay here for both.
Okay.
I move to close the town board meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Aye. I move to close the executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.